Hello. The story I'm going to tell you today. Taking place in the New World, Hong Kong. This is one of the three major regions in Hong Kong. It covers 86% of Hong Kong's total area. The New World covers part of the land and 200 different large and small islands. In the New Territories Kneeling District, there's a new urban area called Quy Dung. It is known as one of the ports, the world's largest container. In the Dung Devil Zone, there is an apartment called Lei Business. This is a 25-story building built in 1975. It is considered one of the buildings. It was the earliest built in the area. On the third floor of the apartment complex there is a secret room. The room is known, blessed by spooky legends. And there's no AI that can live here. There was an old woman who moved here. You've also heard rumors. But she thought, if we don't do anything bad, we're not afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. After moving to the night, she often heard the moaning or a faint cry in the hallway. The furniture in the house is also automatically moved for unknown reasons. After living here for less than a month, she hurriedly moved out of the building. Then there are three big men moved to the room. Just like the old woman, three men don't believe in superstition. Bullshit. However, after moving here, they've all experienced fears that are hard to describe at night, and they also left after less than a month. Then many people continue to move here, but no one can stay long. The room was abandoned a few years later because no one dares to stay. The heavy iron doors closed the apartment. It doesn't just make people curious. When I look over, I feel my bucket, but also the neighbors who live on the same floor. I also feel obsessed. Every night they hear footsteps. It's like the sound of your heels creaking through the hallway. The door often opens by itself without knowing it, and accompanied by the voices of two girls echoing from within. Sometimes it's a fight and sometimes it's a cry. People often see it too. There's a shadow moving around the room or in the hallway. After the supernatural, it's constantly happening here. Residents on the third floor have moved out of the apartment. While Hong Kong has a narrow footprint, demand for housing is very high, and the appearance of a ghost apartment, it's had a bad impact on the region, especially the apartment above, then also known as Hong Kong's #1 haunted house. The incident above also impact is not small to the rental industry in the area. To avoid making things worse, the local authorities sealed off the apartment with brick and cement. They explained that they sealed off the apartment because they wanted to communicate downstairs. However, that explanation is not accepted by the people, because the people who live here know that there was a tragedy in the apartment. The 5th of August 1984 day was Tuesday. The temperature in Hong Kong is starting to rise. 20 hours. An unexpected man break into apartment 16 on the third floor. Lacking in unit 16 is a family of three, including his 53-year-old mother Yang Hu. She's a janitor for a school, and the two daughters are Snowy, 22 years old. She graduated from the English Language College in remote water injection, and I'm working as a secretary in a home office. The youngest daughter is an 18-year-old snowflake. I'm a high school student. The two sisters are 4 years apart. Their father unfortunately died of an illness about a year ago. After he died, the three of them lived together, and the older daughter, Snow Exam Salary, has taken on yet another important role. Support your family millions. He lives in room 13 on the same floor. I saw the man. They broke into their mother's house, he said that night. The man caught and held the mother in the hallway and forced the girls to open the door. The older daughter wanted to save her mother, so they immediately opened the door. Then the man quickly, he attacked his youngest daughter with a knife. Then the mother and the older daughter, before they could react, they fell to the ground. The man then quickly fled the scene. School. It all happened so suddenly that millions can't react. He then quickly called the police. After receiving the report, the police quickly arrived. The scene is on the third floor. Medical staff were also present. After arrival, they took 3 people to Princess Margaret Hospital, 1 kilometer away for medical treatment. Through inspection, all 3 had multiple stab wounds and ruptured aorta. It's a critical condition. The 2 daughters have been confirmed dead. After going to the hospital, the mother was rescued in time, and through the crisis. After the incident happened, The story was quickly spread throughout the local area. In addition to him, millions of neighbors called the police. There are many other people in the same building. I saw the whole thing. Based on the clues provided by the people, the police knew the killer was a bit fat, and maybe the boyfriend of their oldest daughter. Because 4 days ago the Snow big daughter, I called the police because I was raped by a man. Then the mother, fear that if the case dynamic land will cause serious consequences, your daughter will carry every bad. I decided not to pursue the case. That man, he is the one that the snowman knows. To know more about the man above, let's go back in time. A few years before the case. Then the Snow. I am a student at English college in Japan. Far try. At that time, she met a male classmate named Yi Minuvan. He is the second son in the family and has a sister. IP Minuvan lives in Hotei urban area in remote land. It's about 11 kilometers from Snow's house. Whenever there is a holiday, I will ask you to go out. Gradually the two grow into a couple. After graduation, Snow exam as secretary for a state office. He has joined the Hong Kong police force and become a member of the mobile unit. Due to work, the time you to spend together also decreases, but they still call each other every day. And their relationship is good. Very obedient to his girlfriend. If his girlfriend doesn't like him to smoke, he'll quit. If his girlfriend doesn't like him drinking, he'll quit drinking. If his girlfriend doesn't like him gambling, then I'll quit gambling. However, what is missing? It's a relationship between two people. It has not been approved by both parents. My mother of 3 loves Snow. I want my son to marry her as soon as possible. On the contrary, the 3 mothers of Snow, I don't like to write. They think that he's got violent tendencies and bad morals. They always objected to their daughter seeing him. Then it's a disciplinary issue. He was fired from the police force. He then worked a temporary job at a hotel. Because there's a lot of free time. Daily, I take the Snow to work and home. But the impression of the minority in the heart of their home salary has not changed. When they know that he was fired from the police by the SA violation of discipline, the more they feel that the future son-in-law is even more unreliable. When poor people visit family, they always welcome you with coldness. Once upon a time suspect Snow exam having a relationship with another man. The police officer attacked that person causing serious injury. Original Snow exam thought her boyfriend did the same. Because he cares too much about you. Not realizing the importance of the problem. Time goes by, the jealousy and suspicion of lack of writing, increasingly high, he began to ban her. Don't meet any other men. With extreme 6 behavior, boyfriend's modesty, and the relentless opposition of the parents, the Snow gradually showed that the poor are not worthy of marriage. And started to have less contact with him. That year, October 1983. Snow's father was hospitalized for being ill. He died 5 days later. The only family member left them. The whole family is sad about it. During this time, the poor have volunteered to stand out and call on a group of friends to help your girlfriend's family to celebrate the feast of the deceased father. After the help on, the mother's attitude towards literacy has changed. She began to approve of her daughter's relationship with him. The couple's relationship also improved. Miniature Van continues to take Snow exam to work every day. Because his actions were recorded by his mother. To make it easier for 2 people to get along, she agreed to let the miniature move in with them. The neighbors gradually got used to the language, and know you're a good man. Your neighbors call you fat boy. But the surprise is, this decision has led to a major consequence. The Snow Queen has a sister named Snow Bear. 4 years younger than you and a high school student. After the letter moved in, the sister, I always didn't like my sister's boyfriend. I have felt since he moved in. The house became noisy, and it's seriously affecting her education. 2 months later in December 1983. At home, there are only 2 people left, Snows and Snows. When you are preparing to learn. So, I was on the phone talking to my friends, in a loud way. Laughter came through the door. Can't stand it. So my brother walked into the office of the undersecretary, and asked him to talk less. But the poor don't listen. And feel angry at you. I didn't expect him after that. He attacked my brother in the face. The girl's face was bruised and her teeth were broken. When the mother and sister came home to see such a scene, they quickly called the police. Since then he's been kicked out of the house. However, the relationship between literature and Snow continues. A few days after the incident, the Snow made peace with the literature, and even the same mother and sister to attend the wedding of their younger sister. Minors were then allowed to return home and went free. However, in the 5th of April 1984, something has happened. Make their home pay clear. The real face of miniature. That afternoon, the mother received a phone call from. The lack of writing indicates that my daughter has just had an accident and he's in the hospital. The mother was very worried. Take your daughter to the hospital quickly. But after arrival, they just discovered that there aren't any patients named Salary. Snow was admitted to the hospital that day. It's all a little bit of a deceitful scheme. After realizing that I had been cheated, the two quickly returned home. When they opened the door, they saw a horrible sight. They saw the big daughter Snow exam, lying on the couch, with the upper body wearing nothing, mouth stuffed with a piece of cloth and hands tied behind. The little girl is sitting right on top of you. After seeing that, the mother was very angry and immediately called the police. She yelled at him and asked him to leave the house immediately. After seeing that, he knelt down to ask for forgiveness. Tell him. He deliberately divided, cutting mom and sister of lover is because he is arguing with the Snow. He wants to be alone with his girlfriend to solve the problem, but after you two didn't make a deal, he lost control and acted like that. After the police arrived, the mother's attitude changed 180 degrees. She was concerned that her daughter's reputation would be adversely affected if the LAN incident is dynamic, so she said, "It's just a misunderstanding," and won't dig any deeper. Then the police left. After the incident above, the relationship between the minority and their mother, the Salary is cracked. The mother even had harsh words that she never let her daughter see him. Snow then decided to break up with her boyfriend. But the poor don't give up. To the 5th of August 1984. The poor man was in his house at the time, in the rural area of Hotai. He suddenly changed his face. From the kitchen, take out a 20-centimeter long knife and go outside. The parents saw that and prevented it, but it didn't work. 1730. On the 3rd floor of Lake Hin, a neighbor suddenly found out. He was kneeling outside the door of number 16. His face was filled with tears and whispered the preacher. After a flutter, he kept prostrating and begging for forgiveness. After hearing the noise, neighbor down, go back around to see what's going on. That afternoon in apartment 16, only the mother and her youngest daughter are at home. They were indifferent to his pleas. I even want to kick him out. But when they think that the Snow is coming home, let the Snow meet him. They were waiting at the window looking down. I saw the Snow downstairs. Prepare to enter the building. They were screaming for you to leave and not go home. I can see the worried faces of my mother and sister. Guess that. I'm sure she came home to push you. She immediately turned and left, and went to the nearby police station to call the police. 1830. Under the escort of 2 police officers, Snow returned home. He was kneeling outside the door of room 16. I was heartbroken and confided something to 2 police officers. I hope the Snow and my family will forgive me. The Snow, after entering the house, said aloud, I'll never forgive you. And if you don't leave, I will expose shameful behavior. Yours for the police. All things are witnessed. Of the neighbors. 2 police officers later identified. This is a dispute between a couple. They advised the poor to leave quickly, because the police are there, so he didn't dare to act recklessly. He then left with the police. 3 mother and son. The salary in the house shows that the matter has been resolved, so breathed a sigh of relief. But no one could have predicted that half an hour later, when the mother opened the door, she was shocked. Miniature detection. The one who just left came back. He's still kneeling in his original position, after seeing her open the door. Little Van immediately came to embrace the mother's legs and left, crying for your forgiveness. See the situation like this. She quickly backed into the house and closed the door, and then she called his parents and asked them to pick up their son quickly. 19 hours 40. His parents arrived at the door of room 16. They were angry when they saw their son, crying and kneeling in front of the door, and constantly advised Ken. But he's still indifferent. They even shouted over, you can go home, but if I come back, I'll die. The Snow is standing near the door. If you die, I won't shed a tear. After listening, I was stunned for a moment. A few seconds later, his eyes widened. He calmly told his parents that he needed to go to the bathroom, then turn around and walk towards the stairs. Mrs. Young Pigpants feel the situation is better. Seen outside, the neighbors standing still, and my parents are still standing there. I don't want to make things worse. So she opened the door and dragged his parents downstairs to talk. She was sad and hopeful. They can take their son to a psychiatrist. What Mrs. Young Piggy did not expect. Those are the words. They all went back to the bathroom. I can hear him staring at 3 people. And stick a 20-centimeter long knife. Fast step towards. Before Anne took Ms. Young hostage. He hugged her and moved little by little. Go to room 16 on the 3rd floor and shout. If 2 sisters in the house don't open the door, he would immediately kill the mother. Some neighbors, after seeing that, quickly ran home. I saw him excited. Young told her daughter not to open the door. Snow wants to save her. I quickly opened the door. She then pushed Ms. Young to the side and swung the knife towards the Snow. My younger brother was next to me. Fast forward to stopping. But the language was like a demon. He's quick. He stabbed his sister in the face with a knife. She slashed her neck. Sister. When he tried to stop him, he was attacked. Ms. Young was later attacked by him as well. I ran quickly into the kitchen. Minority parents witnessed the whole thing on the spot. They're scared to the point of freezing their feet. Their hands are burning and they're dazed. They didn't call the police or ask for help. And then both of them left the scene and go back to my home. After the crime, quickly get out of the area. Apartment offers a walk on the road. After getting calls from different people, the police and medical staff, he was quickly at the scene. The school staff discovered their 2 daughters. Wade stabbed many times. The neck is almost separated. The mother was also stabbed several times. On the way to the hospital, the 2 girls died. The mother is in danger. After being admitted to the hospital, she survived a month of emergency. 2 a.m. the next day, the 5th of September 1984. The police broke into the house and arrested the boy. On suspicion of murder, throughout his arrest, he didn't resist. Mr. Jong lives in Unit 13 opposite Unit 16, the one who saw the whole thing. He was also the first to call the police. The killer's parents. There are no what to do to stop the tragedy. When it happened, the 2 of them stood outside and watched. The 2 of them later borrowed his phone. Jong, but they didn't call the police. Instead, they pressed 3 numbers in a row and tell the person on the phone that you're dead. And then the 2 of them left. 5 months after what happened in the 20th of October 1984. The case was heard in the Hong Kong Supreme Court. Minority accused of 2 crimes, murder and serious assault. In court, he's just trying to get a serious assault and refused to try to commit murder. He confessed that I was provoked by the snow and lose emotional control before committing murder. This is a random crime. It's not a deliberate act. After 6 days of trial, the case the 26th of October 1984, the jury unanimously agreed that the defendant was guilty, convicted of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to death. After the trial, the judge was not satisfied with the ruling and the appeal. In 1985, half a year after the first trial, the second trial, approved by the Hong Kong Supreme Court, a panel of 5 judges decided the case. The defendant pleaded not guilty to murder. In court, defense lawyers focus on the reason for provocation, point out that the victim once told the defendant that, "If you die, I won't shed a tear." That's what made him excited. Insane and guilty of murder. The defense argued that the judge did not advise jury on this in the first trial. The second trial showed that the first judge, the right to decide the job, whether the defendant was agitated to commit a crime or not. It doesn't have to be discussed by a jury. In addition to the condition for the defendant to act arbitrarily, it's a sudden and temporary loss of self-control. If the defendant is angry at the victim's comments, then he must strike now. It doesn't take half an hour to go to the bathroom, then take the knife back. He also took his mother hostage. The above case is not impulsive. It's intentional action. Before to the 3rd of December 1985. The case was retried in the Hong Kong Supreme Court. The appeal was dismissed, and the original sentence was upheld. Ms. Young was lucky to survive after the incident. and moved out of apartment number 16. And then there's the constant rumors. Obsession occurs in the upper room. Some residents on the same floor. Because of fear, I moved out. To avoid chaos for the people. Housing department renovated room 16. And the next room became the metrology room. They are also sealed. The door on the third floor into a wall. Many people rumored that sometimes inside that wall, there's still TVI, or the sound of water dripping at night. Some people even hear it. Audio chat of two girls. Behind the wall. A lot of rumors spread by the people. It took 15 years for the incident to be forgotten. Many people think that the two sisters are paid, turned into the ghosts of revenge, and their ghosts won't leave the world. Until the killer's death in early 2012. A resident living in the Lakin building said, as we passed the third floor, suddenly, he saw a black shadow passing through the waterfall room, nearby. But when you look inside, there's no eye. In June 2014, there was a girl who was pregnant and unmarried. You wear the hospital shirt, and sit on the terrace of the Lion King building, and have the intention to think. Fortunately, she was discovered and stopped in time. August 2018, a 55-year-old man climbed to the top of the building and do the foolish thing. When the police and rescue workers arrive, then the man died. The police later found the note on the man's body. According to the preliminary investigation, the man did it because of illness and tired of life. Some people think that the ghost of the two sisters has entered. So we're very determined to do that via. After so many sad stories keep happening. In the Lakin area, apartment 16 on the third floor, it's become Hong Kong's #1 haunted house. The stories then still be land transmission to this day. The murderer has not yet been executed. He's still in prison. Today's video ends here. See you in the next videos. Hello.